Imagine a dying dad and husband in some of his final words telling his family that he's actually one of the FBI's most wanted fugitives. It happened. He'd kept the secret, including from his family, for more than 50 years. Now his daughter, after hearing her dad's deathbed confession, is telling his real story. Ashley Randall, who will join us live in a moment, says her dad confessed that for the better part of a century, he was hiding something huge, that U.S. Marshals had been on a massive manhunt to catch him. He was the man described in this local news report from 1986.
On a summer day in 1969, a handsome 20-year-old man walked out of this bank, and he had with him nearly $250,000. And then he vanished. His name was Theodore John Conrad.
Conrad was an employee at that bank in Cleveland, but his daughter Ashley didn't know her dad as Theodore Conrad, the former bank teller. She and her mother knew him as Thomas Randall, devoted father, husband, a pillar of the community in Lynnfield, Massachusetts, where he sold luxury cars for years. When he came clean, she looked up the name he gave her, Theodore Conrad. His story checked out. Her heart dropped. Her father died of lung cancer about 2 months later. U.S. Marshals had been looking for her dad since 1969, with one particular marshal, a guy named Peter Elliott, obsessing over finding him until his retirement in 1990. Elliott died in 2020, but his son, John Elliott, carried out his father's work as a U.S. Marshal and would even joke about his late father's obsession with finding Ted Conrad.
As a young man, we'd be sitting around the dinner table, and my father would be like, "Pass mashed potatoes, and where the hell is Ted Conrad?"
Ted Conrad was almost 700 miles away from Cleveland in Lynnfield, which in retrospect may not have been a coincidence. According to authorities, the bank robber was obsessed with the 1968 film The Thomas Crown Affair, about a handsome, smooth-talking bank executive played by Steve McQueen who pulls off $1 million bank heist. Lynnfield, Mass. is 15 miles from where the Thomas Crown Affair was filmed in various locations around Boston. And the alias that this Thomas Crown Affair fan would live by for the next 50 years, Thomas. Ashley Randall, Thomas's daughter, started a true crime podcast about her father, and in it she describes the moment about 6 months after her father died when there was a knock on the door. On the other side was U.S. Marshal John Elliott. They'd finally cracked the case before Ashley and her mother divulged to authorities what her father told them on his deathbed. Joining us now to take us through this unbelievable story is Ashley Randall, daughter of fugitive bank robber Ted Conrad. She's now sharing her father's story on a podcast called Smokescreen, My Fugitive Dad. Ashley, thank you so much for taking the time. We appreciate it. All right, before I ask you about the moment you learned the truth, I want to make sure we get the timing right here. The knock on the door from a U.S. Marshal came months after your father's death?
Correct. We got the knock on the door a little less than 6 months after my dad died.
And at that point, you had not told the authorities yet about what you knew?
Correct. My mom and I had decided we were going to wait probably a year to deal with the grieving process first.
And apparently it was something in your dad's obituary that led to the final clue?
So my dad changed the year of his birth, but he didn't change his birthday. And he also kept his parents' first names, Ruthabeth and Edward, and just changed the last name. So it sounds like somebody put those pieces together and passed them along.
Wow. All right, so now talk to us about the moment that he came clean with you.
I mean, it's shocking, right? I don't think anyone ever expects their father to sort of nonchalantly say, ladies, just in case something comes up after I pass, I just want you to know that when I moved here, I changed my name. The authorities might still be looking for me, and I don't really want to talk about it. And then we went back to the television. It just seemed like a funny dad joke for a moment until I very quickly realized that he was not joking. And after he told me his name was Ted Conrad and I looked him up, shocked is an understatement.
And I assume when you looked him up, you saw, oh my goodness, this guy Ted Conrad is my dad.
Pages and pages of wanted fugitive, vault teller robs bank, still on the run. I mean, there were articles within the past 10 years that had been written. So it was crazy and also a little scary.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your cable provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.